In this video, you'll learn about skeletons and their tools, which is pretty important to understand rigging. A skeleton is an object. That means you need to be in object mode in order to add it. Add armature, basically skeleton, single bone. Now you have one bone. In the front view, make sure it's selected, press tab. In edit mode, we can edit the bone. This big thing is called head, and this one is tail. The tail isn't that important in skeletons. The head, however, is the pivot point of the bone, and that means it's the point the bone rotates from. Let's rotate it. It's rotating from that point. I prepared this simple model representing a knee. So I have two bones. To see them, enable X-ray mode. Now I'll rotate this bone. The knee is rotating around the head. Another example, we'll move this bone up. See what happened? We changed the bone's location, and that in turn changed the head's location. It changed like this. Before it was like this. So the location of the head can alter the bending, but the location of the tail usually doesn't really matter. The same result here, as you can see. Anyways, try to match the bone to the shape of the model. Next. Right now I got one bone, and to create another one connected to this one, extrude this bone with E. Selected the tail. Now extrude. Now I have a second bone. E again and press Z to move it on the Z. Now a third bone. To move the bones, go to pose mode. Rotate the bone. This one too, and it moves all the children. These bones became children to this one. If I don't want that, Alt-R to reset the rotation, and in edit mode, select the bone, then Alt-P to clear the parent. Pick clear parent. Now if I move the root bone, this bone isn't moving, and obviously this one won't move too. Though this bone is parented to that bone, so if I rotate the parent, the child follows. If you want to parent a bone, select this, then that, which means you'll parent the first bone to the last. Now Ctrl-P, connected. Another way you can do something similar, instead of clearing the parent, you can disconnect the bone. Nothing's different at first glance, but if I grab it, it looks disconnected. It's parented but disconnected at the same time. Or you could just make it connected. Now if you press G, it'll not move but rotate instead. So now duplicate this bone with Shift D and move it right. Name it arm. Say I want to create the same exact bone on the other side. To do so, add .else as the suffix of the name of the bone. Now right click, symmetrize. This mirrors the selected bones that end with .l. This way I can work on the one side and mirror the other. Now if I press on the mirror button, I'm able to move one side and it moves the other. So if I extrude bones now, they're set properly. One side moves, the other mirrors. Notice here, the arms don't follow the spine. So in edit mode, select the arm bones. Lastly, the spine bone, then Ctrl-P to parent. If I do connected, we'll encounter an issue. It'll move the head of the arms to the tail of the spine. See what happened? So do keep offset instead. This will parent it without any connection, so it stays in place. Ctrl-P, keep offset. Now delete the object and add a single bone. And here I prepared the worm model for you. And so in edit mode, extrude the bone up multiple of times. A skeleton for the worm. You can use X-ray with Alt-Z if you can't see the bones, or enable in front from here. Now it'll always stay on top. To scan the model to the rig, we will do that in future episodes, but for the time being, you could select the model first, then Shift select the rig. The order really matters. It's like telling Blender to parent the model to the rig. Now Ctrl-P to set parent, pick with automatic weights. And it should work. So select the rig and go to pause mode or control tab. And it's working just fine.